There is no better sound in the entire world than sinking a long putt. Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Dimpled Balls. Today we're gonna learn how to putt, and I got these 5 simple tips that will help you stop 3-putting, start 2-putting, maybe even drop in those 1-putts, get your score lower, and play better golf overall. If this is the first time you're seeing this channel, welcome to Dimpled Balls. We got a bunch of tips, golf reviews, challenges, a bunch of stuff with a bunch of friends, and a lot of other fun golf stuff. Video content coming out every single week, so if you're into that kind of stuff, feel free to consider hitting that subscribe button, joining the T-Shank Nation, hit the like button before we get into it. Again, we got 5 tips that'll help you to start sinking more putts, dropping your score that much further. The first of the 5 tips is to always overestimate the slope of the green and the curvature. You want to leave it on the high side rather than the low side, and I'm going to show you how to do that right here. When you leave the ball on the high side of the pin and the actual cup, sometimes you have a chance of it rolling in. Maybe it hits a rock or hits something or skirts in somehow. But even if it doesn't, you're going to like that shot a lot better than if you leaved it short on the downside. And let me show you why that is.
Shots on the high side have a chance to roll in depending on how hard or soft you hit it. Shots on the low side never have a chance to roll in, and they also tend to exaggerate the slope a bit more, just like that.
It's kind of hard to see these putts, but if you go ahead and take a look at them, the one that rolled on the high side ended up closer to the hole. Again, it's kind of weird science how if you miss on the very top, you kind of skim past it, and you still have a decent second putt. The other ball that I left short was started off at the hole and tailed off towards the end. This is going to be a harder putt. I'm going to take that other one any day of the week because it is shorter and closer to the hole. So again, always leave your ball on the top of the hole. All right, so again, made putts equals 2 things: speed, pacing, same thing, speed, pacing, plus the line that you started off on. If you get those 2 things right, you drop it. If you get good speed but a bad line, you can still get close. If you get a good line but bad speed, you can still get close. All right, so again, we want to have those 2 things under control. This next tip, the second tip, is to go ahead and figure out the speed part of the greens. So if you get to a golf course early and you have an extra couple minutes, 3, 4, 5 minutes, the best thing you can do is get on the putting green and also do this drill right here. This drill right here will help you get a feel for the speed of the greens, the pacing of the day. So you put 3 balls down in a line, you know, about 2 to 3 feet apart. As you can see right there, I have them in the background, and you're going to putt to try and get as close to the edge of the green as possible. Now, I didn't make this drill up. I'm not the owner of this idea. I got this idea from Rick Shields. If you guys know who he is, he definitely has good content up on his channel, so go check him out. A link will be in the description below. But this drill will help you get the speed and pacing of your putts, so that way that if you don't get the line correctly, you're still going to be within, you know, a foot or 2 for your second putt. And that's what's really important for 2-putting on greens. So that third putt was a lot better than the second one, but it's just kind of giving me a good feel for the way the sky's hitting the grass today, the length of the grass, how wet or dry it may be, and you know, how fast these things actually are. So I can go ahead and 2-putt a lot more easily on that first hole rather than just going in blind. And a lot of people just get up on the practice greens and they try and putt it into the cups. That's okay, but it doesn't give you a good idea for pacing and for the speed of how fast the greens are playing that day. And I would recommend this drill for tip number 2 to get your pacing right on your putts, to start sinking more 2-putts and get away from those 3-putts. The third tip that I can give you guys in order to go ahead and putt more effectively and just become an all-around better player on the greens rather than 3-putting and 4-putting and racking up those scores is to visualize the cup as more of a target zone rather than a place you're going to put the ball. So if you can visualize each cup, like this one right in front of us, as more of a target zone, and you want to get within a 2-foot radius of that, you're going to go ahead and leave yourself easier second putts rather than 3-putting, which again is the thing we're trying to avoid. The 2 putts are what's key. So if we visualize this as more of a radius rather than a singular spot, we're gonna go ahead and give ourselves an easier chance. And that's the third tip, is leave yourself a good second shot, or a good look at a second putt. Again, that's the third tip. So let's say we're gonna play this hole from the back of this green all the way back there. I'm gonna show you how a good putt can lead to a good second putt, which is how you lower your scores. This is an example of me going for it. And this is an example of leaving myself a decent second putt. Now my second putt is a good tap in, you know, or a decent look for a second putt. And we made both of those. Whereas the first one where I went for it is off the camera over here. And I ran it just past, but I left myself a good third shot. So limiting the damage and getting yourself to 2-putt in critical situations is absolutely key. And that's the third tip I have for you guys for how to putt better and how to lower your score overall. And real quick, before we get into the rest of the tips, make sure you hit that like button if these tips are helping you at all, and definitely comment down below what you guys strive to shoot. What is like a good score for what you guys want to do when you're out there on the golf course? If I shoot anything in the low 90s, I'm pretty happy. If I break 90, I'm pretty excited. So again, a lot of that comes from putting, so these tips are very valuable in getting your score down. The next tip is definitely going to be a different one. It's more about striking rather than anything else. It's not a mental thing. It's not really anything else. But a lot of people don't consider striking the middle of the putter when they're going and putting on the greens. You know, everybody wants to hit the driver in the middle of the club face. Everybody wants to hit the lob wedge, the 7-iron, the 3-wood in the middle of the club face. But not a lot of people consider that when you're on the putting green. The putter is just as important to hit in the middle of the club than anywhere else. So make sure that you have a nice smooth swing in and out, and make sure that you're striking the ball at the power and speed and the line that you want, but also in the middle of the club face. I'm gonna show you right here what happens when you don't hit it in the middle of the club face of the putter. When you hit the ball in the middle of the club face of the putter, you just get a nice, smooth, solid contact strike, and it typically goes where you're pointed. You know, not every time. If you're flipping your wrist or if you're flicking your hands a little bit, it won't go straight, but most of the time you get that straight shot, and that's what we want to try and replicate for tip number 4 on how to get better putts and how to lower your score using better putting. The last tip that I can give you is tip number 5 for the video. How to go ahead and get more consistent on the putting greens, how to get better, how to lower your scores with putts. And this is called the gimme putt, all right? A lot of times we get to within 2-3 feet and we think they're gimmies, right? And for the PGA Tour Professional, they are gimmies, and that's a reason why they have a lot of lower scores, right? So this drill will help you do that. Basically what you're gonna do is go ahead around the hole, take the length of your putter and put a golf ball on the edge of that putter from the hole, and then you're gonna go around the circle and keep going until you make all of them. It's a great warm-up drill to do before a round. It's a great thing to do in your backyard if you have some sort of a, you know, small cut grass, or hit up your local practice green and do it there. I'm gonna do it right now so I can show you guys. All of these putts will give me a bunch of different looks at the same hole, and that can help you with your variability and consistency. So make sure you get this down. So just keep going around until you can sink every single one of those putts. It's gonna help you get a good feel for different lies, rolls. Some will be harder than others. Some you'll have to hit harder than others. Some you'll hit softer. But again, this drill is perfect to go ahead and warm up or to do in your backyard. Get yourself to be more consistent when you're really, really close to the hole. And that's basically what we're working on here, is when you're right inside that gimme range, you want to be able to knock those in. Typically, low handicap players make those every single time, and that keeps their score nice and low when they're on the greens. And this is a drill where if you have a high handicap, you can go ahead and keep working towards lowering it when you're on the greens with this drill. So again, hopefully this helps. And the last bit of advice that I can give you is to just have fun and be confident, right? Because with confidence comes more dropped putts. It comes more great sand outs. It comes more straight drives. So again, have confidence, strike the putter well, dead center every time. All right, so let's recap really quickly. Remember the 5 rules, 5 tips for this video on how to get better at putting, how to get more consistent, how to lower your score. Always overestimate your slope or your curvature. Leave it on the high side if you have to. Give it a chance to roll in. If you leave it on the down slope, you'll never have that chance to roll in. Number 2, learn the speed of the greens. Pacing is key, right? So if you can get to the range early, if you can get to the course early and they have a practice putting green, don't simply go out there robotic motion and put it into the cups. Make sure you're trying to read the slopes, read the speeds, read the pacing of the greens that day, put it to the edge of the green. That should give you a good look for your round. Number 3, leave yourself a second easy putt. Again, this is highly underrated. If you want to start 2-putting more and stop 3-putting, make sure you leave yourself an easier second shot than a harder second shot. Number 4 is strike the dead center of the putter. Remember, contact is key. Dead center strikes, nice and smooth. Make them every day. And the last tip is to do the length of putt drills. Again, confidence is key. The more you strike it, the more you practice those ones that are inside 3 feet, the better you'll get, the more putts you'll drop. And yeah, that should be it for the video. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. If you did, smack the like button, hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel. Welcome to Dimpled Balls. We got this kind of content coming out every week, so feel free to stick around. We'd love to have you. We got giveaways a bunch of times too. Go check out our other videos, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Beautiful day for golf, isn't it? Peace out.